Welcome to Car Show Television. Well, we're at what's called the 15th annual Rock and Roll Sunday that is put on jointly by the Nom Knights Motorcycle Club and the Asphalt Angels of West Palm Beach. We do this in order to support the charities of both the Asphalt Angels and the Nom Knights. And the Asphalt Angels charity is the Sunshine League, Sunshine Baseball League, which we have been supporting for more than 10 years. It provides a year-long program of competitive baseball for special needs persons. That's children, teenagers, and adults. We buy their baseball bats, their gloves, their uniforms, and we supply all of that with the money that we raise from this charity. The other half, in association with the Nom Knights, the funds will go to the Disabled Veterans Foundation, and all of we donate to that also. So it's a joint program for both charities. And we're really proud to be a part of it. You have a 50-50 raffle. We sell tickets. We split the money at the end of the day for the 50-50 raffle with whomever the winner is. We have door prizes. You drive your vehicle in here, we give you a white ticket. We draw from the ticket. You can win all of these prizes that you see here. 10 trophies that we're going to be giving away, plus an overall trophy. The Asphalt Angels are not allowed to compete for the trophies because that would be kind of, but all the other participants get a chance to compete for the trophies, win the trophy, take the trophy home. And the first 30 registrants get what we call a dash plaque that tells everyone that this hot rod was at the Asphalt Angels and Nom Knights 15th annual Rock and Roll Sunday show. So it's a pretty good event. The Asphalt Angels, in truth, the Asphalt Angels is almost all over the country. And you have different chapters located in different cities, and they go back something like 40 years. The guys that you see here originally were Asphalt Angels back in the 50s when these cars were sitting in the dealership. So what's happened over the years is as people have dispersed, they've opened up individual chapters throughout the United States. So you'll find Asphalt Angels all over the United States. And we draw 60 to 65 excellent hot rods like you see here every Friday night at our cruise-in. That cruise-in is at Wellington Trace and Greenview Boulevards in Wellington. The thing about the show that makes these shows so enjoyable is that this group you see is like a big family. Most of these guys have known each other, and these ladies have known each other for 15 to 20 years. They started hot rodding when they were young kids, and now here we are in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, and we have one member that's up in his 80s. And they're still together, they're still warm and friendly, and they like each other, and we like each other's company. So it's really a family event. And we're bringing in our grandkids now. You see grandkids walking around here, looking at the cars, enjoying the show, and just admiring the sport that we dearly love. The truth of the matter is, we're motorheads, and we like to be motorheads. We like bikes, cars, and everything. Well, I've got a 1984, I've got a car I always wanted to have, which is a truck. And it's a 1984 El Camino, black El Camino sitting over there. Come out and get infected. Come out and enjoy cars and automobiles and people who like cars and automobiles. And join us in our fun because it is an absolute blast to sit around and reminisce about the days when every car had 400 horsepower.
name is Jack Doyle. I'm from Lake Worth, Florida, right near this town. I found it actually right here in Lake Worth. The guy that lived in Jupiter had brought it to his parents' house to sell, and I happened to pass by it one day as I was going out, and I stopped in and I purchased it, which was about 3 years ago. Don Yenko was a guy from a speed shop guy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he decided in ’68 to actually build these muscle cars to compete with Chrysler and some of the other guys. So he bought a few of these big block Chevys, you know, from some of the local dealers up there, and he ended up taking these in '69. They didn't have a 427 motor in a Camaro. They had it in a Corvette. So he bought all these Corvette motors, '69 motors, 427s, stuck them in these Camaros, named them a Yenko Camaro, put his decals on them, changed the suspension around a little bit, made it heavier, and like I say, put his decals on it, and it became a Yenko Camaro. Then after about, I think he did like 40 or 50 of them that way, well then he talked GM into actually producing a 427 Camaro only for him. And he bought 150 of them, which was, they made a total of 200 of these cars. Right now, a real Yenko, say a #1 Yenko car, is running anywhere from 300 to 400,000. And I decided to make a Yenko clone out of it. So we took it down to, took the body down, did a frame-off restoration on it, had the motor rebuilt. It's an original '69 427 motor, original M22 '69 transmission. As many parts as we could find from 1969, we bought everything we could find to make it as close to a real Yenko as possible, and it's about as close as you can get. It took about 1.5 years to do a complete frame off on it, and it's turned out to be really nice. It's very, very fast. It's got all the stuff exactly like Yenko. We tried to go as close to specs as we possibly could with the car, and it meets just about all the specs that we could find, that we could do.
Hello, my name is Hank Friedman, and this is my 1967 Lincoln Continental convertible. The car and I reside in Boynton Beach. It's a 4-door convertible, famous for the suicide doors. It has a 462 cubic inch engine, gets about 350 horsepower, and the biggest question I always get is, what kind of mileage does the car get? The car does about 7 or 8 miles to the gallon. But it's a great cruiser. It's comfortable as anything, and it still has that nice smooth ride when you take it on the highway, just 70 or 75 miles an hour, and you don't even feel it. It's like sitting in your living room. I've always wanted a Lincoln because my uncle owned one, and the last few years I've been looking for one, and I finally found the one that was meant for me. It was a car from Seattle, and I had it shipped here to Florida. And it's just something about the car, the size of it, and it's built for comfort. It's not built for speed. And my kids love riding in it, and we take it all over, and wherever we go, the car is a head turner. People stop and wave and really enjoy it. As far as the technology goes, it's a very complex system of relays and switches to operate the top. I think there's something like 16 or 18 relays that could go wrong at any given time. But for the most part, the big thing about finding these old Lincolns is to make sure that the top is operational. That's the major technological thing about this car. Most people, they come up to me and they say, "Oh, this is the car from the TV show Entourage."
Right.
That's where they know. That's where most people know it from now.
Right. Right. I used to be a member of the non-bikes. Too much to work on my plate, so I dropped out. But they've been doing this now at least 15, 16 years. I'm a very strong for supporting the members.
You know, we work pretty hard at Car Show Television, and I'm really thirsty. Really thirsty. The iced teas are incredible. Honey, if you're watching this, these really weren't $5 a piece, I promise you.
This is a 1921 economy engine. It's called a hit and miss engine. It's a horse and a half. It's run off of a governor system, and what it does is the RPMs run at a certain RPM, and as it slows down, it tells it needs to fire again, hence the name hit and miss. So it fires one time, and then it coasts several times before it fires again. The engine that's here is a 1941. It's called an LB engine. It is throttle governed. They're all gasoline, but the throttle governed fires every time. So it'll run a little hotter, it'll burn a little bit more fuel, but it has a lot more power to it because it fires every single time. So these had to do manually. They figured out a way to hook a stationary engine to it, hook a belt to it, pump water, grind corn, bale hay, run grain elevators. Some of your threshing machines were run off of these engines. They would run these to run the threshing machine, and then they would pull the actual cart with horses. This is where the gas engine got its start. That engine was actually built in 1916 for the town of Bellsmere, Florida. It ran their ice house all day and their light street lights all night. And then in 1925, they sold it to the town of Belglade. Belong to the Florida Flywheelers in Avon Park. They used to be the Yappa, which used to be at the South Florida Fairgrounds, and they bought a piece of property up in Avon Park, and they moved up there and turned the name into Florida Flywheelers.
Thanks for watching Car Show Television.
Red.